Okay, today we're going to have a look at a installation we've carried out. It's only a small bathroom where needs must, we're just dealing with the shower area only with a whole new floor for a double amputee. So this is just more of an overview just to give you an idea of what sort of thing can be achieved. It doesn't have to be a full bathroom every time. It doesn't have to be the fanciest thing in the world. Really, this is more of a speed exercise where this customer was really struggling, like using the bath, which I'll show you in the before photos, just an absolute nightmare. So we needed to put in them a level access shower so that if they are in a chair or if they need assistance from any help or carers or partner, it's really easy to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you look over the screens with me here, and we're going to take a look at before photos, the design, the fitters pack, and then also laid over the top we're going to have some videos that has been taken and show you what the finished product looks like. So let's get into the screens now. What you'll see here is I have the before photo on the right here, as you can see. So on this right hand side you'll notice this is a very small bathroom with just the basin, very old school basin, double tap with the bath on the left hand side. You'll also notice, for any keen eyes, we've actually got an exposed pipe here on the left, which I believe is feeding the shower, the electric shower that's up here on the left hand side. As you can imagine, getting in and out of this room, getting in and out of the bath, certainly as a double amputee, or even somebody fully able with, you know, with the ability to get in and out, it's still very tight. It's quite hard, you know, climb in, certainly climb out if we've had a bathe. So you'll actually notice inside of the bath we've got lots of apparatus to just help us, you know, bathing and all that sort of thing. So yeah, what you're probably thinking is, where's the toilet? I believe it's on the other side of this wall on the right hand side. But in the past, bathrooms used to be split, so the toilet could be used if somebody was having a bath. Slightly different angle here. You can see again the bath, and you've got this exposed pipe running down the left hand side, which is never great, never looks good. It is a cold feed though, because that's going to the electric shower, which means, you know, it's not dangerous in terms of heat, but it's not very good, is it? So yeah, we basically need to reinvent this room, certainly if we're going to be bringing a wheelchair in there. And you'll notice already the customer had actually put in a little ramp here from the hallway in, just to take that edge off for any chairs getting in, right? And then looking at it from the face here again, you've got this electric shower behind here and a seat there to help. But let's be honest, practically it's not very great. You know, it's not going to be very easy to use. But at the same time, one thing I want to say is, you know, we're not actually reinventing this room completely. We're not, you know, we're not adding a toilet in. We're not changing the basin. This is just dealing with that bath only. So if we come over to the left-hand side of the screen, you'll notice I've got here the job site. Just a quick, you know, very basic overview of the plan, just to show you where the proposed new walls will be going to keep costs down. You know, we're not fully doing the whole room. We're actually keeping the same base, and you know, it's as it says here, we're on the first floor, and it is a wooden floor situation with floorboards in a semi-detached house with a gravity system, and that might be why they have that electric shower, as I've spoken about in other videos about the different types of shower pressures and all that sort of thing. So yeah, the situation here, as you can see, is, you know, we're leaving the rad as it is, the basin as it is. We're just going to do a nice level access watertight floor, keeping the shower on this wall. Now again, to keep costs down, we're actually reusing the shower that's already there, because there's nothing really wrong with it. Now we won't guarantee it if anything happens with it in the future, because it was an existing product, but we don't mind, you know, in terms of cost, keeping costs down. Sometimes, certainly if the product's at a certain level or a certain standard, us putting it back together. Yeah, so this blue line represents, you know, obviously where that bath comes out. We're going to be reboarding this area, and then actually thinking about it, you know, from an installation point of view, we might actually be boarding this back wall here, because if we take that bath out, what we're going to do with it, you know, we're going to have to do something where the tiles won't be when we do the wall there. Also to point out, we've got this dotted line here. This is just to represent like a shower curtain track that it will follow, just to keep, you know, water within the wet area. I'll show you shortly some during photos that you can look. You see the video of me talking over it, where we've put in the new, we call it a wet deck. It's like a blue deck, basically a shower tray that's pre-formed so that the water runs towards, the plug hole in the floor. And then you can't quite see it. Let me see if I can zoom in. Just on this very basic plan, we've got a little screen here. Now, the customer requested this. It's sometimes needed, sometimes not, depending on how tight you are with this bathroom door. I mean, 710 is never the best, distance in terms of width for a shower, certainly if we're a wheelchair user, but where needs must in this situation, and the customer was happy with it, and that's what they're using right now. So this little rectangle you can see here is to represent a very small deflection screen just for the water, so that we can keep the water away from that door. Okay, so let me show you now then some designs that came out the back of it, just to give the customer that representation and can see what it is. So again, we've got the door coming in here, we've got the rad staying the same, the basin doesn't look the same as the one in there, as the one in there is very old, but it is staying. You'll notice these walls are sort of greyed out, or, well, not necessarily greyed out, but look like a painted finish wall, but they'll be kept the same way as the tiled in the photo over here. What we do have here though is from the door point here along the back wall, and then the long wall along here, and again I think underneath the bath is their new wall cladding. So this is, instead of having ceramic tile with a grout line, which you can sort of see in here, that always goes discoloured, and if there's a hairline crack or it starts to come away over time, they're not actually that watertight, whereas a wall board reduces that by not having any grout lines, and you actually have a completely watertight surface. Now, in the drawing you can see here, the flooring actually doesn't come up the wall a little bit, but we tend to bring the floor up behind the wall board, so that as the water trickles down that face of that board, it drops onto the floor before it touches any sealant. It doesn't have a weak point in it over time. And it's this sort of flooring, this ultra flooring, is super hard wearing, so really good for chairs and wheelchairs underneath. It's not going to tear or rip like you would imagine a vinyl. And with it being a single piece floor, we haven't again got tiles that with chairs over that will crack. Just over time, you're going to have a really strong tile in a bathroom on a wooden floor that has a bit of flex in it to not crack and, be not watertight over time. So definitely recommend the Ultra flooring. Couple of different angles. You can see that's the shower representation, and you can't really see it very well on the computer design, but you've got this splash screen just to take the edge off water coming here towards the door. Okay, so that's that. Obviously over the top you'll be seeing now the different stages of the bathroom, so I'm going to talk to you about the different stages and then we can go from there. Right, step one, we've got to arrive. We're going to be putting down dust sheets all the way up the stairs, in this case, all the way up to the front of this bathroom area. And we need to get cracking with the plumbing. Obviously we need to disconnect and turn off any water and all that sort of thing. We tend to isolate in the bathroom, so if you're worried about not having water in the house for a long period of time, we tend to try and do it all within an hour or two. As you can see from the video and the photos, you've got the bath panel coming off, we've got exposing all the pipe work so that we can access it, turn it all off and make sure we're not hurting or damaging any pipes as we're working. The next thing you'll see is obviously that bath is out, and you'll see the floorboards have also been cut away and it's exposed to joists. Now what we need to do really in prepping the floor is we need to strengthen this, because what we're going to be doing is putting a wet deck down, which is this blue wet deck you see in the video. That is a pre-formed shower tray, we call it a deck, that shapes the flow of the water towards the plug hole. We will actually strengthen between joists with some noggins, some timber 4x2 or 3x2, just to strengthen the base so that it can take the weight of the new deck. There's no pressure on single joists, But also underneath that flooring we need to sort out the pipe work, because what used to be above floor level for the bath now needs to be below low level, because we've got the wet deck going down and we want to make it level access for the customer. You'll notice also we've left the basin in there because we're leaving it in, and often taking a basin out which has been in for a long time, like it looks like it has, can actually be more detrimental to the tiles on the back there. So it's a needs must situation again. The wet decks we use are really strong, really great product, so no flex in it at all, certainly if it's been nogginged underneath correctly. And over on the left hand side, or in the video if you can see it, you've got the pipe work sticking out for the shower that we're going to be keeping. Now the reason the shower had to come off obviously is because we're going to redo the walls so that we haven't got the old tiles there, and also down to the new flooring where you can see there's the plasterboard. And like I said earlier in the video, we've actually got this section here where the bath has come out, so that design was incorrect really, but the fitters, being as great as they are with our guys, they'll have wall cladded this too to make sure it's completely watertight right the way through. Again, the next step you'll see is we've now laid the Ultra flooring. They went for a dark floor to match their existing tiles, if you remember correctly. And also you'll notice there's been like a plasterboard finish around the base just to bring it level with these tiles, because what we don't want to do is we don't want to be ripping those tiles off and affecting all the other tiles above the door and in the window side here, because tiles are like dominoes, right? Once you take one off, they all crumble off, certainly if they've been on a long time. So what we'll do is we'll actually apply, you can see a very small amount of it here in the video and the photo, this little green, you know, it's just a surface to go over just to help with adhesion and all that sort of thing. So yeah, that's the flooring gone down. And then you'll see the next stage, you'll see that wall cladding go in, and as you'll probably see from the video, the flooring does come up behind that wall, and we just need to trim that in and make it look nice and make sure it's fine. You will also see that the shower on the wall here has been refitted, now the wall panel's in, and then we just need to seal on the internal corners to make sure it's all watertight. Here's another photo where you'll see the screen has been fitted. Again, quite difficult to see on the pictures, but certainly in the videos you'll see the glass screen, and then we've got the shower curtain running across the top there, and the wall panels have all been finished, and all the wall panels have all been fitted, including that little extra bit here at the bottom. In the window there you may see also a completion guide, or a how to use / how to clean guide with all the new products if you're not quite sure. And we also have left a squeegee, because we understand that sometimes using, you know, chairs and open wet rooms like this, water can go a bit further than you imagine. Certainly if you wave the wand about and the curtain doesn't catch it all, you can just squeegee, because don't forget the entire floor is watertight. But the curtain will catch the majority of it, absolutely, and the floor has been shaped correctly so that the water should run towards that floor anyway. So that's more of an overview of what we call a part job, or a needs must job. This is where we're taking out that bath to fit a level access shower, because we're in dire need in this situation of getting rid of that bath so we can get a wheelchair in there and shower in comfort without it being an absolute nightmare. Trying to climb over a bath certainly is a double amputee. So I hope you've enjoyed me talking about it. If there's any other questions or I've missed anything, please give a shout out and let's have a look at what we could improve on with these sorts of videos. But hopefully that gives you that idea of not everything is about cost and going for that huge, you know, upgrade bathroom, but down the let's get a needs must solution in place. Let's keep the shower, let's keep the rest of the room to keep costs down, but improve quality of life immensely. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll catch you on the next one. Something like that?
Yeah, that was great. Really good.